Back.
Yeah.
Size bonus.
Yeah. Zenden, Zenden.
So it's okay to actually use these to sit on?
Yeah. So today, Latanya allowed us to film right here at the Zenden. And this is a nice spot. And I'm actually glad that we're up here today because this is where I was at for Cecilia Caballero's reading in January. So hello, YouTube, and welcome all who are watching. I'm Jesse Tovar, and this is Noontime Poetry at My Place Cafe. My Place Cafe is located within Hesteve Square, 2057 North Los Robles Avenue, Suite 10, Pasadena, California, at the corner of Woodbury and Los Robles. My place is open every day from 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Since My Place Cafe is still open during this live stream, stop by and get a coffee, cold brew or latte. And today, just to let you know, the cafe will be closing at 1:30 p.m. due to a scheduled maintenance. And above My Place Cafe, which is where we're filming from today, as I mentioned a second ago, is the Zenden, a yoga studio ran by Jody Smith. Ashton says she loves how it looks. Ashton Cynthia Clark is a storyteller who just read a poem for the Italo blog radio. And then back to Zenden, Jody Smith is also the founder of Magic Melon and Mama. They had a sunrise class at 6 a.m. today, right over here, right here. So Jody tells me and all of us that when they're doing the sunrise class, like it's dark and then it just gradually like becomes like the light just comes like slowly, and it's amazing the way it looks, you know, aesthetically, especially if you take pictures and stuff. Learn more about these and other yoga sessions, including purchasing some Magic Melon and Mama products at thezendenla.com. I'm actually thrilled to hear Jean-Pierre Rueda read today. I met him when I read with him at Future Now by Dryland Magazine. That was like back in June, I think, of last year. I was like in the open mic. We were both in the open mic, actually. Yeah. And then we met in real life at Sims Poetry Library last November. He signed my copy of his book, Herencias. So introducing Jean-Pierre is Olga Murillo. Jean-Pierre currently lives where Olga Murillo grew up her entire life. I'm going to screen share. So that's why you, online viewer, see the Zoom logo. Nah, I don't think so. Let's see if I'm doing this right. Hope I'm doing this right.
Hi, everyone. The writer we have for you today is an essential LA poet, Nikolai Garcia.
See, I knew I wasn't gonna do it right. Okay. I knew I was not gonna do that right, so let me try again here really fast, okay? Sorry about that. I knew it. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed.
Hello, my name is Olga Murillo, and I am honored to introduce tonight's writer. I'm sorry if you hear my cat, he is crying, so if you hear him, we're all good. So you are truly in for a treat, and let's talk about Mr. Ruedas for a little bit. So Jean-Pierre was born in the sunny city of San Jose in Costa Rica, and from an early age, Jean-Pierre's uncle filled his mind with stories of California every time he would go visit them. Every Christmas, he got to experience a little bit of that magic his uncle painted as Jean-Pierre and his family would travel north to visit that same uncle. During one Christmas at the age of 15, he and his little brother decided to stay with his uncle. It was 2000, and he remembers vividly that there was a presidential race between Bush and Gore. Along with the excitement that comes from moving to a new place also came anxiety. He quickly learned that the picture his uncle had painted and living in Los Angeles were two different experiences. It's from that place of anxiety that led him to write. Like my favorite poem of his, Buenas noches, California, which he started writing at 16 and kept etching at it until its publication in his second book, Herencias, which was published in 2001. The speaker pulls our heartstrings as they recall their hometown and the promise of a new city. It's a journey of love and reality, of heartbreak and yearning, a dance that joins two languages, and a perfect symbol of our writer tonight. Jean-Pierre is a disciplined writer. His writing process comes from observation and connection. He used to wake up and write, but now he drives and makes voice memos of what he sees on his way to work, which leads to many poems about politics, the injustice in the world, and his gente latina. As I have learned from speaking with him, Jean-Pierre writes like he is running out of time, and he says he's going to keep it that way. Please join me in welcoming this inspirational poet tonight, Jean-Pierre. Good luck.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us in today's noontime reading. Thank you, Jesse and Latanya, for making this happen and creating this space of poetic noon. Today, I would like to share with you some of my work from Herencias, which is my newest book. And this is a bilingual Spanish and English book, very much like myself. So to get started, I would like to read to you guys. I found myself between cartographers and poets. I found myself between cartographers and poets, greeting my earliest high school mornings whenever homesickness would open my ribcage with confessions in Spanish, most often whispered. I traveled your meadows of authors and painters, reading someone else's wrinkled prayers in hopes of recognizing my own, mirrored in your lakes of wistful pages. I plucked fruits of eloquence from your crowded bookshelves, drinking their poetry to hide away the loneliness of being a foreigner. I spent nights in Chile, strolling through Neruda's dreams, listening to his roses and moons talk gently between his cities. I followed Martin Luther King's Jr. steps right to the top of Washington in 1963, where he dreamed out loud and became his highest expression of freedom. I fell through the years just to land on Maya Angelou's clouds, which rained love and loss through valleys of perseverance. I memorized her labyrinth of sonnets, history, and philosophy, and felt your sunlit eyes warming up the ink beneath those literary landscapes. I found a cathedral of love within your walls, outgrowing the hate outside of them, where the world would call me maldito inmigrante, because my voice was embroidered with my family's accent. I found myself between rivers of stars, turning my heart into a vessel, whispering songs, translating magic into words like lluvia, familia, herencia, Costa Rica, mama. I remember those library mornings, breathing in thousands of voices, which sounded like silence to those not reading, and learning how to travel without airplanes and passports, simply by walking with my fingers from title to title. Thank you. That poem is something that I've been painting for years now. It's where I used to go back in memory, just remembering what it was like to come from another country and finding a sanctuary in books and some type of connection. The immigrant experience is a rough one. It's a tough way to live, but there's a lot of beauty in it. So I wanted to make sure that I can always bring it up to light. And in libraries, I met a lot of people, including one of my heroes. This one is called A Tres Noches de Septiembre. And this is about Ruben Salazar. And it goes like this. A Tres Noches de Septiembre. Un verano de 1970, fallece el reportero y activista de derechos civiles, Rubén Salazar. Ese sábado, el este de Los Ángeles amaneció con la voz de un pueblo unido exigiendo humildad, igualdad, respeto, justicia social, resaltando el resentimiento, la frustración por la muerte de generaciones latinas en las junglas de Vietnam y los barrios de Estados Unidos. La voz chicana, acompañada por las guitarras de su juventud, inspiraban a la multitud marchando, 30,000 almas coincidiendo en ese hermoso y brillante momento de solidaridad a lo largo de Whittier Boulevard, celebrando bajo una misma bandera de hermandad, jóvenes, ancianos, chicanos, latinos. Pero la historia cambió con una llamada. Cuando el pretexto de un robo alarmó a la fuerza policial californiana, quien se presenta armada y lista a detener el avance de ese mar de gente con la violencia de sus puños, sus batones y las claras intenciones de amordazar la prosa de esa protesta pacífica. Las risas, abrazos y canciones de ese día de agosto se perdieron en el gas lacrimógeno y los ladridos de la policía azotando a quien se pusiera en su paso, quebrando los huesos, humillando, arrebatándole la inocencia a los jóvenes que llegaron a cantarle al cambio, siguiendo al pie de la letra lo que escribía la tragedia. La muerte suspiró sin arrepentimiento al llevarse con un balazo, vestido de descuido policial, a Rubén Salazar, quien luchó toda su vida por darle voz a la experiencia chicana en Estados Unidos, reforzando la necesidad por la igualdad laboral y educacional, mismas razones por las cuales miles salieron a las calles a exigir un cambio en la nación. Y cuando el humo se dio el paso a la calma, los disturbios de ese 29 de agosto mancharon con amarga ceniza las páginas de la historia de California. Thank you. So we're gonna brighten up things a little bit more. And we're gonna move on to what I call love letters to family members. And the reason why I chose Herencias as a title is because there are a lot of things that we inherit from our family. Not only joy and family, joy and sadness, but an appreciation for life. And it could come from little things that you notice growing up to now things that you can't live without. This one is dedicated to my grandma. Besitos de marimba. Esos besitos de marimba que se cuelgan en el viento del recuerdo como mariposas coloreadas con el pincel de la tradición. Son los mismos que revolotean cuando mi abuela me habla de su infancia en esas llanuras esmeralda desbordándose en el Pacífico. En sus cuentos, los pericos se comen a besos sus silbidos, en los ríos de brisa y árbol, bebiendo luz entre las ramas y las sombras. Costa Rica aparece en su voz, meciéndose en sus anécdotas, como el canto de una urraca de copete azul bajando del mismo cielo que refleja en su plumaje, viajando en sus crónicas de ciudades de antaño, festejadas en fotografías castañas, entrañadas y navegadas por los dedos de la añoranza. Me encontré en conversaciones del pasado, recorriendo las calles mojadas de San José, después de un aguacero soleado, respirando la magia de la pampa guanacasteca, donde ella nació un abril entre palmeras. De sus dedos, escuché el martillazo elegante de una máquina de escribir, cuando apenas le llegaba por sus rodillas. Me acuerdo de esa visita a su oficina, descubrir ese mundo de política, candidatos y estadísticas, adornado por risas que viajaban sobre el papeleo inundando su escritorio, mientras Juan Luis Guerra serena la radio de los años 90. Ahora, cuando hablamos de mi bisabuela, mi abuela pronuncia su nombre con una sonrisa, viéndola entre cometas y nubarrones en el cielo, detallando sus manos idóneas de enfermera que trajeron tantas generaciones a este mundo, aclamando la hermosa simetría de entregarle a mi mamá recién nacida como un lucero en el calor de sus brazos.
Jean-Pierre, is your
Thank you.
grandmother still with us?
Yes. So
In Costa Rica, or is
she lives here. Yeah. So my grandma is the bridge between Costa Rica and California for me. And I actually was able to put a picture of her in the book. And she's the main reason why I wrote this in Spanish, because I wanted to make sure that she could understand the appreciation that I have for her. And this could kind of present itself as a good situation for other kids that, need to connect with their roots, or maybe don't have the tools to do so. And I feel like poetry has that. It has that vehicle to do so. You get that. Sure. Okay.
Okay, so so whenever I do these events, I always watch how it looks. And then I'm realizing, because there's been a few YouTubes, and if you've seen this YouTube channel, it looks too dark. So we're gonna try moving to a different part to see if we can get more lighting so you can see Jean-Pierre's face. I'm gonna do that, all right? Sorry. I know. This is in real time, very reality TV, behind the scenes stuff here. Yeah. My apologies. Oh. I know, right?
It's all right. I love the honesty of that.
Yeah.
It has to be like that. So I'm going to read a little bit more from my first book. So I did self-publish a book called Her Eyes Were the Moon and I Was the Waves. And this was written during the beginning of the pandemic, which gave everyone a pause during the chaos and everything. A lot of people look inwardly, and this book is something that I made as a reminder that you can always find beauty through the most tragic of times. So let's start with Spring the Alchemist. Have you ever seen June play in alchemy? She tends to do it late in spring, noticing bright emeralds swaying from jacaranda trees. Curious to see the world in shades of lilac, June's voice conjures up lavender from each leaf, convincing sunsets of burning hues of crimson and tangerine, until those sleepy butterflies wake up with indigo wings. June whispers an evening breeze, and we see the amethyst taking flight, like a dandelion's wish in the ripples of the wind. Promise. Come and love with me, both hearts unbound. Come and fly with me, let's become stars to the years you'll dream about. Come and sing with me of our love and our oath, sublime and profound. Come and love with me, both souls hand-bound. And I do have quite a few really short poems that I've kind of actually, they're a good challenge. This one is Jolt of Life. If you ever had a good friend, this is what it feels like. Your laughter is the most beautiful sound I've ever felt. It strikes me right in the chest and revives me. It grabs a hold of my soul and electrifies it. A jolt of life. Trust. And trust. There has always been an urgency for honesty between us, a deep respect of our time, and the greatest mutual admiration. Our friendship grew brilliantly with each anecdote shared in confidence since the first of our confessions, encouraging sincerity as it reinforced the scaffolding of our trust, revealing the essence of love when it spoke of kindness without regret, embracing the strength of selflessness as it proved to be powerful and the root of passion. The next one is for my dad. So I grew up with my dad up until I was 10, and then he was gone, which is the title of this one. Gone. When I reach for you, all I find is that afternoon in the airport, your silence, your eyes dodging me out of guilt or something else. I leave you a kiss on the cold glass door, and sign it with my small handprint. I hold on to your voice. I twist it around me and I feel it snap as soon as I wake up. Did you know then that it was gonna be the last time you would hear me? Did you even hear me at all when I cried for you on the other side of that cold glass door? I can't remember your face on my own, not without help from a photograph, a dream, or a memory belonging to someone else. Dad, you've been gone for so long that I peeled you away from my soul. Thank you. The next one is called Bright Eyes. I wrote Bright Eyes for a friend whose son was actually unfortunately murdered. And she was having a lot of trouble with grief and how to come out with words. And this one is called Bright Eyes. And I want to dedicate it to Miles Armstead's family. Bright eyes. Bright eyes, bright mind, bright heart. Born with the winter of 1975, warmth since the moment I held you. You carried my dreams, shaped my aspirations through your own deeds. Thank you, son, for the life you lived. As I deal with this pain, grief, the disbelief of the moment, the hours blur through its storm of emotions. And this could easily consume me and block out the sun. But knowing you as I do, I will focus on the light from your family, friends, from those who love you. The light, the same light growing brighter when I say your name, whether whispered softly or loudly throughout my day, when I feel the warmth from the light. My heart beats again, and it does so beautifully. I can see you beneath the skin of my thoughts, between the colors of our memories. I can feel you walk beside me because our love has been an absolute one. I'll always love you, my bright eyes, bright mind, bright heart, diamond of a sun. And the next one is called Miles Under the Waves Curling the Horizon. A little bit of background on this particular one. I wanted to describe what it is to be an immigrant as a diver, because you're diving into this adventure, sometimes willingly and sometimes unknowingly. Miles under waves curling the horizon. As the diver ventures into the abyss, deep beneath the waves of June, thoughts of reaching the sunken cities seduce him with promises of glory and gold. His resolve led him straight into this chasm. His sacrifice and determination allowed him passage to the kingdom of blue darkness, an empire for the taking. The diver had been here once before, staring into the gates of the unknown, hardly breathing at all, but the ocean's twilight escaped him then. He began feeling the cold of the chasm, which is a dangerous thing as it indicated loss of precious energy and the opportunity for fear to allow error. A warning that there was no more light beyond that point, and the deep blue surrounding him would soon be shredded by shadows. A grim reminder that those moments he treasured so much could live him forever if a miscalculation were to hinder him breathless. Memories of a lifetime swirling behind his eyes, witnessing Cygnus and Cassiopeia stretching over the desert, stars kissing the earth, feeling the breath of the rainforest, red, yellow, green, and blue, his homeland in the warmest rain that he has ever felt, being in the presence of the sun as dusk blends the Pacific and the horizon into one. Fear that he could lose them all. Memories flickering in and out of existence, and all once dreamt, scattering across the ocean's floor, buried beneath the infinite blackness, like stars lost to millennia. This time, ambition spoke louder than fear of dying, and the diver plunged into the deepest parts of the sea, miles under the waves curling the horizon. And most of my poetry does focus on that, which is the journey. Kind of goes back and forth between the places that you really love and the places that you think you remember, because most memories tend to shape as the years go by, right?
Yeah.
So I do want to read this one that is both English and Spanish, and it's called Buenas tardes, Buenas noches, Costa Rica. I'm sorry, California.
Oh, that's English speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had it here. It's always moving away.
I know, right? Good vibes. Mhm. That was the second one. That was the light stream, which is still there.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. I'm just glad that we're actually able to do something up here. Because I was talking to somebody today about like, they were talking about like they want to do something again up here, but it's a long story on that.
No, I like it. I like it, especially all the light coming in.
Mhm.
Feels good for this poem.
Yeah.
So this one is Buenas noches, California. Buenas noches, California. Este verso es para usted. Me acuerdo verte desde el avión. Eras un mar negro en mi ventana, con 1,000,000 de boronitas brillantes flotando en la oscuridad, parpadeando la luz. Me acuerdo naufragar a la orilla del norte, en la costa de Los Ángeles, un octubre del año 2000, con mi corazón de 15 años aún intacto. Me acuerdo de la magia de esos primeros días, el romanticismo al perderme en tus ojos celestes de verano eterno, caminarte a ciegas por primera vez, siguiendo tu latido desde las playas hasta lo más alto de tus montañas, y despertarme a la sombra de tus rascacielos, en tu arboleda de arte, música y cine. Llegando a mis 20, ese acento bien marcado que resaltaba mi voz de forastero empezó a desvanecerse. El miedo que me reconocieras como inmigrante me forzó a esconderme en mi inglés, a negar mi herencia, reinventarme y alejarme infinitamente de quien fui, to forget me, for a chance to reach the possibility of belonging entirely to the American dream of my parents, the main reason why I left my country all along. But the heart remembers all. And when my abuelo passed away in my 30s, all those miles, all those years between your shore and Costa Rica kept us from kissing him goodbye. I felt my mom shattering 1,000 times when I heard her say, pensé que tendría más tiempo con él. She whispered his name like a prayer. California, me diste tanto, pero me quitaste más. And just as I know your face, I am certain that I will never forget what you cost my family, what you cost me. Por eso esta noche me despido de ti, confesándole a mi país lo mucho que la he extrañado, because I see her in the black rainfall of a Sunday night. I taste honey when I greet her in the lushness of her memory. I feel her in my accent when I call my heartbeat by her name. I would trade all the gold from your brightest sun to feel her raining again and drink her sky like I did decades ago, cuando era solo un niño. Thank you so much. This one is for anyone whose name has been butchered. And having a French name with a Spanish last name always brings out a question.
Oh,
Where are you
my
from?
God.
Who are you?
No, I felt so bad when you ate that too last week. It's on the YouTube video and I had it corrected. Like,
Oh, no, that's cool. But see, there's no malice behind it.
no,
That's
no,
okay.
Yeah.
But this is something that happened to me at the airport.
Oh,
So this is called Aprenda. This is me and my grandma coming into to Cali. La voz de 1000 idiomas de aquel ocupado aeropuerto, en la luz prestada de neón esa madrugada, se vuelve silencio cuando el oficial de migración se enreda la lengua tratando de descifrar el nombre extranjero que se estira con mi larga firma en la tela de mi pasaporte. El centinela de ojos azul negro, suelta entonces un sonido masticado, enjuagado en un español brusco, escurriendo inglés entre sus muelas, empapado de burla y frustración, escupiendo cada letra como si tuviera espinas, con asco, indignación, reproche, mientras que mis ojos de 8 años tratan de entender sus gestos de enojo. Rueda? How do you even say this? And why name him Jean? That's a girl's name, you know. Mi abuela me sintió llorando. Antes de que nacieran las lágrimas, me sonríe y dice, aprenda, learn from this. Su mirada se voltea hacia el oficial, lo ve de pies a cabeza antes de contestarle, digiriendo cada imperfección, memorizando cada temblor de sus labios, afilando la respuesta. You don't get to travel often, do you, sir? Or reach further than what approaches you with ease, like a magazine or perhaps a bus bench? My grandson's name is French for reasons I wish not to share with you. Now, please let me speak with your supervisor, because I don't appreciate your judgmental treatment. El recuerdo de mi abuela siempre ha sido brillante. La diplomacia con la cual manejó ese momento, la calma al escoger cada palabra sin tener que disparar insultos ni reflejar el tono del oficial. Acuérdese, el ronroneo al inicio de su apellido es la nota de herencia reverberando en su acento como trueno naciendo del pasado. Nunca deje que nadie se lo robe ni lo manche. La escucho en mis sueños y la abrazo. Thank you guys for coming and making it.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, I'm Jesse.
The next poem that I want to share with you guys.
This is Ashton.
Hey, Michelle, thank you for making it. It's nice to meet you. So I'm going to read something quite bright. It's called Muéstrale al Mundo. Muéstrale al Mundo is almost like an anthem for the writers, for the poets, for the singers, for anyone that wants to make a difference artistically. And I know that there are other people that can do it in different ways, like social workers and nurses and police officers and firefighters. They all kind of are interconnected. So show it to the world. Muéstrale al mundo la herida, el grito, la lucha, el despojo, la agonía, el destierro, la injusticia, el desconsuelo, la melancolía, el sufrimiento, la angustia, el menosprecio, la sed, el hambre, la desilusión, el cansancio, la muerte. Muéstrale al mundo la vida, el esfuerzo, la perseverancia, el orgullo, la valentía, el corazón, la cultura y el arte, la devoción, el emprendimiento, la dedicación, el talento, la fortaleza, el compromiso, la felicidad, el indomable afán, la cicatriz. Muéstrale al mundo lo que es ser Latinoamérica, en el latir, en el brillar, en el porvenir de Estados Unidos. Porque la historia cambia de dueño cuando la pinta, escribe y canta quien la vive, salvando el alma con un pincel, un poema, un piano, ilustrando la humanidad para inspirarla a mejorar. Hoy quise ser el ayer que soñó el mañana. Hoy quise ser el arte escribiéndome desde adentro. Hoy quise ser el verbo, el adiós al miedo, distanciándome con triunfos de los desiertos de la ansiedad. Hoy quise ser el ayer que soñó el mañana, leyéndome desde adentro. I'm gonna turn it a little bit to more of the romantic stuff that I also like to do. I mean, can I have a poetry book without some love stuff?
But there's some folks that do.
I
No
know.
romantics at all.
So I have on one page, I'm setting the world on fire, and this one is to stay. A segundos de un beso. A pasos de tus pestañas, mi verso, respira la brisa de tu mar verde. Verde porque el sol que te vio nacer se enamoró y hundió profundamente en el azul de tu alma. Al pie de la ventana de tu mirada, mi poema se detiene a medio cantar, admirando la luz esmeralda cuando hablas y me sonríes. Una luna creciente resaltando los años que quiero vivir contigo. Tus ojos de alba, en ese ocaso de tinta, guían mis deseos enlazados por senderos de relámpago y rima, hasta ser el éxtasis de tu pensamiento, gozando la resonancia poética de tu nombre, haciéndole el amor apasionadamente a las memorias que aún no han sido. Me confieso ante el templo de tu boca y encuentro a Dios en tus besos. Mar adentro. Cuando el insomnio me invita a escribirte. Tu voz de guitarra me lleva mar adentro. Las letras se besan en la medianoche, enamorándose de la profundidad de tu nombre. La tinta me sabe a miel cuando te leo en la piel de esta oscuridad. Los minutos de la madrugada con ese silencio de terciopelo me acarician y acompañan en lo que te desenredo de esa maraña de estrellas y recuerdos, matizándote en el frío del aire, el calor de besar tu sombra. Tiene una tristeza tan rica que me enamora intensamente hasta de tu ausencia. Confieso lo que te extraño, mi diosa, luna plateada de invierno, y la verdad me sabe a menta. I'd like to follow that with Dearest Winter. Now that I see spring all over. Dearest Winter. Dearest Winter, please halt your thunder. I wish to see her clearly in the dark, like the shadow of a dream, sketched out by the divine hand of love's anticipation. Dearest Winter, she speaks the light which maps the suns. She dresses herself with the night. She wears the black pearls I took from the gods, a crowned goddess out of the pages of Marquez. She is the guitar and the knife. She is the scent which escapes the rose. She is proof of faith's beauty through poetry, a silver moon out of Lorca's world. Dearest Winter, please slow down your stride. Reign infinitely if you must. Desynchronize the day and night cycle as you wish, because I want to live forever in this instant, knowing I just met the love of my life and that she knows my name. That one is for my wife, for Jennifer. And the thing about love is that it has different shades, right? It can be compassion, it could be kindness. There's also the type of love that they always talk about, unconditional love, or love without measurement. This one, I want to dedicate it to and I dedicated it to my father-in-law who passed away. And the only reason why him and my mother-in-law got separated was because of death. But he found a way to keep that love alive. So this is from Darling. I've been there every step of the way, always beside you, always near you, leaning on each other as we went to war with cancer. But you were the one who felt the pain, the changes in your body with chemo and all those unsuccessful treatments. You were the one bearing the unbearable, showing your family how to live through the looming tempest of your inevitable departure. Your love and devotion kept me from losing myself in the ocean of darkness when death whispered and you followed. I keep reading your last letter, holding you as you speak to me. So if there's going to be distance between us, then let us give it purpose. Let it inspire the audacity of our love to build bridges between life and death. Let it increase the intensity of our passion to become music, masterfully soothing the earthquakes of anxiety and hurricanes of uncertainty. I will become this very verse, eagerly waiting for your heart to whisper me into existence, to grant me breath once your voice allows it, and to be kissed over and over and over when your memory demands it, because our love is a beautiful collaboration of friendship and exceptional trust, thoughtful and successful at bearing the unbearable. So, darling, have faith that our love will outwit and outlast it all, because unconditional love adapts as it transcends and excels as it learns. The next one is called Serenata. Seré poesía al leerme abrazándote. Seré tinta goteando rima añorándote. Seré canción, acorde entre latidos dibujándote. Seré amor, silbando anhelo, acariciándote. Seré tu noche, suspirando luz, enamorándote. Time. There's a constant conversation between my past, present, and future. How you flow through the fabric of my time straight into my heart. All that magic, all that love, you defined them. Yesterday turns into an author witnessing our accomplishments, documenting each dream as it came to be. Today, I kiss your name as I fall from the stars, holding your hand, walking beside you. Tomorrow shines as a bright valley of light and promise, mirroring victories wished upon fateful winter nights, and the kingdoms will conquest together. This particular one is called Yarns of Honey and Life. And this is for the Day of the Dead, which I've grown to really understand through my wife's culture and family, especially because of her Mexican background. So this is my a love letter that I made to that, because I understand the depth of that particular holiday now that I'm missing relatives and friends. Yarns of Honey and Life. We crown November with sunny marigold garlands and roses of yearning. We light up skylines with candles and prayer, whittling paths of remembrance for our loved ones to follow us back to life. We serenade and greet them with colorful memories, vibrant laughter, arroz rojo, café con leche y pan dulce. We tend to their fire, feed their life's flame with every story we remember, and introduce them to those too young to have met them. Yarns of honey and life, their souls entwined as a single strand of light, burrowed in our hearts, historia, raíz y familia. Again, love keeps changing, and then there's the type of love that keeps you fighting. This one is called Más allá del norte, and this one I'm going to dedicate to my friend Natalie Garcia and to her family. Más allá del norte. Un hombre de 62 años, con risa de trueno, voz de serenata, hijo de San Miguel, Michoacán. Con ojos de fuego, piel de volcán, suelta su taza de café recién hecho un domingo de junio a 15 minutos de ser las 7 de la mañana. Cuando siente las sombras de la migra gritando en inglés que es tiempo de despertar de ese sueño americano. El imponente señor García sintió encogerse cuando los ojos de su hija lo encontraron bajo amenaza de deportación. Confesó en silencio morirse en ese momento, visitando los paisajes de su experiencia en Estados Unidos, sus recuerdos de tener 13 años con su hermano llegando a lo desconocido, el olor de las frutas que recogió en los campos del norte de California, la disciplina que forjó la fortaleza de su voluntad cuando fue boxeador en sus 20s, las travesías de conductor, las ciudades prendiéndose y apagándose, suspiros de luciérnagas. Se escucha diciendo Natalie por primera vez, meciéndose en sus brazos la cara de su corazón. Parpadea y su familia grita por él. Los ve, pero no los escucha, los siente, uniéndose en la tragedia y lo reviven. El señor García se fue con la luz azul y roja que rayaba el césped recién mojado segundos antes de que le cambiaran la vida las leyes racistas que no respetaban ni siquiera el hecho de que el señor García tenía papeles, residencia y una green card. El día que se lo llevó la injusticia más allá del norte. This one is called Bandera Media Asta. And I did get to read this one for Future Now during one of my first Zoom open mics. And thank you, Viva and Nikolai. This one is called Bandera Media Asta. El país se detiene en la misma esquina de siempre, entre la avenida de He Was Quiet and Kept to Himself y la calle de Guns, Don't Kill People, People Kill People. Otra noche de vigilia en Estados Unidos, otra mañana de noticieros barriendo los hechos, otro presidente diciendo que es la última vez que pasa, otra masacre, otra ciudad, mismo inocente, mismo culpable. La pandemia nos tapa la boca, la segunda enmienda nos tapa los ojos. Después de los balazos, la bandera media asta se agacha con vergüenza, arrastrando sus colores, sus valores, su futuro. A su izquierda, ve los 411 heridos y 60 fallecidos en Las Vegas. A la derecha, se acuerda del cine en Aurora y los 12 caídos. Habla de patriotismo para robarlo todo. Pero aparecen las sábanas blancas de Columbine, creciendo como colinas de tragedia, adornando un valle de muerte con las mismas balas usadas en Sandy Hook. Se tapa los oídos con los dedos del NRA, pero el eco de Virginia Tech, destrozándose 33 veces, lo empuja hasta caerse al lado de los 23 del Walmart en El Paso. Las estrellas se desprenden de su piel con el peso de la sangre y la bandera se revuelca en la violencia hasta teñirse con la frialdad de la realidad, que esta sociedad valora más el amor por las armas que el amor por el prójimo. Keep the political theme going. I'm going to read Miércoles de Insurrección. And this one I wrote days after January 6th and the insurrection, or whatever attempt it was that they were trying to do. Regardless, as an immigrant, to me was shocking to see that was happening in what is the beacon of freedom. And trying to describe it to my uncle, translating it from English to Spanish, he was still shocked. So this is what we talked about. Basically, we'll never forget. Miércoles de Insurrección. Nunca olvidemos el rencor de ese 6 de enero, entablando un patíbulo para ejecutar a la democracia. Empantanado ante los ojos del mundo la plaza del Congreso estadounidense. Nunca olvidemos su canto apocalíptico corriendo enardecido por los pasillos de la historia, sugiriendo furiosamente muerte a la libertad, porque perdieron la elección presidencial. Nunca olvidemos las multitudes con sombreros rojos batiendo estandartes amarillos de tiempos revolucionarios, vistiendo armadura y chaleco antibala, acariciando sus conspiraciones de traición y propaganda, con sus rifles de asalto en pecho y mano, exigiendo un diluvio, con su huracán en marcha improvisada. Nunca olvidemos la catástrofe de esa fría tarde en Washington, los rostros de congresistas separados por barricadas de escritorios y banderas, cortando el avance del ataque a la capital, el balazo del servicio secreto colándose por la hendedura de un segundo, matando al desangrar a la manifestante, que escalaba entre gritos y amenazas ese callejón de violencia. Nunca olvidemos las chispas de valentía entre los escombros colosales de ese día, las imágenes del oficial Eugene Goodman, desviándose de deslave humano malintencionado, deteniendo el miedo y su embestida para salvar la vida del Senado con su acción heroica, alejando la tormenta con su astucia. Nunca olvidemos la retórica cobarde del líder que inspiró ese miércoles de insurrección, el odio retorciéndose, endureciéndose, donde usualmente reside el corazón. Nunca olvidemos su silencio traicionero, déspota, ejemplo de su legado para la posteridad. The next poem that I do want to read for you guys is When Death Approached Him. The boy never saw a shroud. There was no sinister silhouette lurking in the shadows, walking like darkness. The boy never thought of death as being a thunderous sound flying through him, leaving him motionless on the ground. The boy never saw a sigh, a silver crescent thirsting for his blood, no bony fingers aiming for his soul. The boy never thought of death as being a straight and confused bullet, biting off his thread of life after piercing his chest and scratching his neck. In the city of North Long Beach, where the Atlantic flows differently, making its way from north to south, death wears no ominous shroud, owns no sharp and cold sigh. Death in our town takes our youth with guns, lives in the colors of all rivalries, and causes early departures. Death occurs as a senseless act of violence, a direct result of a cruel gesture. Youth is lost to pointless arguments of territory and money, silencing the innocent, indifferent to the pain of others, killing without remorse, living without compassion. The boy heard nothing at all. No bullets bursting in midday, no car speeding away, no crowd yelling afraid. The boy was 7 when death approached him. Yeah, it's fortunate, and it happens in most countries. You know, that's the thing that I've learned as I speak with more people and interview more people, is that it doesn't matter where you're coming from, the youth always dies to greed, whether it's a gang recruiting another, or crime just kind of seducing you into doing things that you don't even think they're going to have that type of long consequence. And I'm a father of 2, so my 2 boys are always keeping me writing about things that I need to pay attention to. The next one is going to be called Almas Diarena, and let me know how we're doing with time. If you're
Well, how many more were you planning on reading?
just got like 3 more. So that's okay.
That's good.
Okay, cool. So this one is called Almas Diarena, and this is for people crossing borders. La historia cuenta que el desierto que amarra ambas tierras, cayéndose desde California hasta Texas, se traga la vida por más que se aferra. La muerte deja advertencias en ese mar de polvo quemado, levantando un cementerio de piedras con cruces quebradas en el vacío de la frontera, como cuento y moraleja, arrastrando la marea de almas de arena. Las familias que sobreviven la odisea terminan desmoronándose, víctimas de la erosión emocional al sentir las manos desabridas de la burocracia, enjaulando a sus niños y niñas en la eterna pesadilla migratoria. Ambos presidentes, Ponen a bailar sus promesas, girando metáforas en su diálogo perenne para entretener a los periodistas, mientras otra generación más continúa su procesión hacia el norte, tratando de esquivar carteles y alacranes. Latinoamérica pregunta entonces, ¿cuántas veces más tengo que morirme entre fronteras para que reconozcas la humanidad de mi necesidad? ¿Cuántas veces más tienen que matarme entre décadas para que escuches la sinceridad de mi necesidad? ¿Cuántas veces más tengo que quebrarme ante tus ojos para que le cedes el paso a la dignidad de mi necesidad? ¿Cuántas veces más tengo que quemarme entre tus dedos para iluminar el rostro de mi humanidad? Thank you guys, I appreciate it. Thank you everyone that is tuning in. And this particular poem is called La trágica belleza de los tiempos inciertos, which translates to the tragic beauty of uncertain times, and is a summary of the 2020.
Yeah.
I know, this is just like the 17th month of it just keeps going. La trágica belleza de los tiempos inciertos. Un listón negro anunciando el luto cambia el retrato familiar. La muerte con sus manos de frío escribe un nombre más. La pandemia le robó el aliento al mundo y el dolor habla como llanto en todos los idiomas. La historia cambia su tono en un instante, voltea su cara y llora miedo al escuchar los primeros meses del año, quemándose como el diciembre de Australia. Los gobiernos navegan el caos sin mapa, terminan ahogándose en su ineptitud mientras que la culpa brinca de boca en boca sin tener un verdadero dueño. Las ciudades se apagan en el insomnio que inspira lo incierto, transformándose en fantasmas de lo que fueron. El mundo enfermo se detiene por completo. China deja de trabajar por primera vez en siglos. Italia cambia de museo a cementerio en una semana. Inglaterra y España caen afónicas ante la epidemia. Nueva York no duerme por toser y California se despierta para morir cada hora ante la mirada incrédula del Pacífico y los países sudamericanos. That was just March of 2020. It keeps going. La histeria se apodera del tiempo. Las tiendas se inundan con gente peleando por botellas de agua y papel higiénico. El odio y el prejuicio inspiran ataques a la población asiática, mientras que el pobre y el inmigrante siguen trabajando, terminando los rascacielos que adornan las capitales del mundo, recogiendo los alimentos para que el rico no tenga hambre, arriesgando sus vidas sin opción al desempleo. Es la primavera más gris de la historia. Y la muerte, con sus labios de frío, se roba otra alma más, y lo peor de la humanidad apenas se asoma y presenta. Los dueños de negocios se despiden de la vida, esperando la ayuda que nunca llegó del político indeciso, suicidándose, acompañados por el grito agobiante de la deuda. And where's my stimulus package? En miles de hogares, los lobos devoran la paz de la mujer. Con cada mordisco de violencia doméstica se emborrachan para nublar las noches perdidas que dejan infancias traumadas y mujeres quebradas. En la frontera entre Estados Unidos y México, detrás de las barras sin estrellas, aún esperan los niños del sur por la mañana que les regrese a sus familias. Los pasillos de hospital se visten de funeraria. Las despedidas por texto y video terminan siendo entierros, mientras los doctores se acaban los días y las noches tratando de detener la tormenta con sus manos. La esperanza no da abasto, ni el silencio para rezar. La humanidad respira. Aunque la pandemia continúa, las ciudades empiezan a revivir, la ciencia persevera, celebran indicios de una cura, los hospitales son santuarios de milagros, la epidemia cede con el invierno, las casas se vuelven escuelas y oficinas, la vida se sacude la muerte de encima. La trágica belleza de los tiempos inciertos florece ante la oscuridad del miedo y la duda. And the last poem that I want to share with you guys today. This one is called Black Calally Nights. Memories rise like hills across the heart. Thoughts ascend and descend from them as nomads of longing, following the veins of time across the hours of decades, which bridge them admiring the valleys of life. Mountains of yesterday in great succession, moments solidified by the decisions which elevated them. The cliffs curve as the soul caresses their walls, softening their jagged edges, drawing trails along the rose-covered mountainside. The breath of dreams, mist cascading from their heights, thoughts ascend and descend from them as time breathes life to those rivers of nostalgia. Memories enriched by the nature of love, bright chrysanthemum mornings and black Calally nights, all flourishing exquisitely as the soul remembers and the heart vigorously speaks in rhyme. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, everyone that made it, and thank you, everyone that is tuning. Again, my name is Jean-Pierre Rueda, and I'm a poet from Alegría Publishing. And you guys can find me on Instagram at Poeta Tico. And this is my book, Herencias. Thank you so much.
Well, Jean-Pierre, gracias para leer y gracias para hacer el primer Noontime poesía reading reality. Gracias Latanya, Jody y todos mis coworkers. Gracias Olga para introducir Jean-Pierre. He just mentioned just right now, to get in touch with him, you can follow him on Instagram at Poetico. Mañana tenemos San Francisco Poet Laureate Tongo Easton Martin leyendo aquí a las 2 de la tarde. We hope you can be here. So one of the customers was like, I only thought you'd do these events on Saturdays. And I told that customer today that, well, we do them whenever we can, really. Because like the first ever poetry reading I hosted here at my Place Cafe back in January 2021 happened on a Friday night, actually. So me doing this noontime reading on a Friday today is kind of bringing me back to like where it all began in a sense. So for now, all I want to say is that tienes un buen fin de semana and recuerde para hacer mi lugar tu legar.